Alrighty, guys, ready? Okay, right, correct about at the bottom. Here we go. Midpoint. The template looks like this. You add something, divide by 2. Add something, divide by 2. Slope, y minus y over x minus x. Distance, giant square root. You're going to subtract the x's squared, subtract the y squared. Those are your 3 templates. Now, I'm going to circle my x's. They go here. 1, negative 2. I'm going to box my y's. They go here. 3 and negative 1. Your answer here, you clean it up, is negative 1 over 2. And this is just plain old 1. That's a negative there. So that's worth 1 point, a half point each term. Slope is rise over run. Rise, you subtract the y. So I box and subtract 3 minus negative 1. Run, subtract my x's, box and subtract 1 minus negative 2. That double negatives make positives. The answer is 4 over 3. That's worth 2 points. If they have 3 over 4, you may give them a half point. They at least got the double negatives, but I want you to write them a note and say, rise goes rise on top. Yes, sir.
Could I do 1 and
1 and 1/3. Yes, that's fine. Except, guys, slope should always be left in fraction form, really. Yes, sir.
What if they put a negative sign?
What, it's negative 4 over 3?
Yeah.
Dock them a point. Okay? All right. So here is we circle our x's and box our y's. Left to right, this is going to be 1 minus negative 2. Left to right, 3 minus negative 1. Double negatives make a positive. This is 3 squared. This is 4 squared. Under square root sign, 9 plus 16, root 25. And the answer is 5. Okay, that's worth 2 points. If they did not get 5 correct, backtrack and see did they get any portion of that correct, and you may give them a half a point if any portion is correct, even though they didn't get 5. Okay? Score and return, please. Score.
I love you, Louise.
Where's your final answer? This one was negative 1/2, and this one was 1. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Score and return. Score and return. I'd like you to turn to this page 3, please. This page 3. This page 3. You're going to need some colors and at least a couple highlighters. So any kind of colored pens or pencils that you possess. I'm going to do a lot of colors today. A lot of colors today. No, you may not need this classroom. You can share with someone. Hopefully someone in your group is prepared. Having colors was on your equipment list. All right. Today we're going to talk about angles. Today we are going to talk about angles. Okay? And there are 5 different pairs of angles. Hold up 5 fingers. 5 fingers. To get out of my classroom today, you're going to have to define one of these 5 styles of angles, which means if I tell you, tell me what vertical angles are, and you go, you will stay in my classroom until you can define them. So this is going to be an exit question, just to warn you. Look up here, top of page 3. See those 5 bullets? 5 hands. Repeat after me. The first one we're going to talk about is vertical angles. Say vertical angles. 2, adjacent angles. Linear pairs. Complementary. Supplementary. Take your highlighters, please. I'd like you to highlight these 5 terms. Vertical angles, adjacent angles, linear pairs, complementary, supplementary. It's fine. Okay, we're going to do, starting with vertical angles. Vertical angles are the most important. They're the most common and they're the most overlooked. They're the most common and they're the most overlooked. But they're also the most important. They're also really easy to create. I like you to trace any two straight lines. Trace any two straight lines. Physically trace any two straight lines. You've just created vertical angles. A pair of angles are created by, underline the word straight, lines directly opposite. They are called vertical angles. They are always congruent. That's why they're really important. They're going to create a lot of stuff there. They are always congruent. Okay, so I like you to sweep the 73 and sweep angle B. Those are vertical angles. They're opposite. They're made by straight lines. Have to be straight lines. Put hatch marks there. That means angle B here is 73 degrees. I call them cat whisker angles because that looks like cat whiskers. If you come up with like bow tie angles or some other visual notation, come up with something so you don't forget them. Vertical angles are always congruent. Switch colors. Trace and find another pair of vertical angles in the same diagram. Switch colors. Trace and find another pair of vertical angles. Go. All right. Just out of curiosity, how many of you traced these ones here? Raise your hand if you did those. Okay. Did you mark them congruent? Always mark them congruent. If you see them, mark them congruent. How many of you did these guys here, this way? Okay. Those are vertical angles as well. All of those pairs of angles are congruent. Vertical angles, okay? Next one is adjacent. 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 Put your hands together like this. Your hands are now adjacent. Adjacent means to be back to back, touching. That is adjacent. They have to be back to back and touching. Adjacent is this. These two angles, I like you to trace with me, please. Actually, let's do letters first. Put a letter here. Let's call this P. Call that Q, R, and S. Put the letters there. Now put your pencil on P, please. We're going to go dot to dot. Follow me. Go P, go to Q, go to R. Go from R back to Q to S. It is back to back. I'd like you to trace that 3 times, exactly what we just did. P, Q, R, R, Q, S. Again, trace it again. Same thing. P, Q, R, R, Q, S. And again. P, Q, R, R, Q, S. Where you are overlapping, let's write those angles out. This is the symbol for angle. That's angle. That means angle. P, Q, R, and angle, R, Q, S. Write those two down. That little caret means angle. I want you to take a highlighter. I'd like you to highlight in both those angles, 2 letters are the same. Find them and highlight them. In both those angles, 2 letters are the same. Find them and highlight them. All right. Brandon, what do you think? What's the same? R is one of them. What else is in both? And Q. Notice, highlight them both, R and Q. Now highlight R to Q here. I'm going to call that the spine. Basic adjacent angles, they share a spine, they are adjacent. If they share a spine, which means when you write them out, they have two overlapping letters, they are adjacent. Two overlapping letters. When you're done with that, go to the right. Okay, linear. Linear means line. Pair means two. Linear means line, pair means two. Okay, so a linear pair are two angles which share a spine and make a line. They share a spine, make a line. Share a spine, make a line. Share a spine, make a line. That's a linear pair. Okay? I would like you to please trace with me. Trace. Like this. Trace that angle. And then I'd like you to trace this angle. I'd make them two different colors. These two angles share a spine. They make a line. They are also adjacent, always. So they're a type of an adjacent angle. Can you sweep the two angles, please? Physically sweep them and tell a neighbor those two angles add up to a certain number. Tell them what that is. Go. Alrighty, guys, it should be 180. That is a linear pair. Share a spine, make a line. Okay, the last two, complementary and supplementary. We're almost done. I'm keeping the notes as short as possible today because I know it's just Friday and it was a long day yesterday. Okay, so hold up your hands and make a C. Make a C. We're almost there. 3 minutes. Make a C. Make a C. Make a C. Make a C. Say the word complementary.
Complementary.
Okay. Complementary. Now make a right angle with your hand. Make a right angle. Say 90 degrees. Okay, now just watch me and then you're going to repeat. So definition of complementary is a pair of angles, complementary, which add up to 90 degrees. A pair of angles, complementary, is a pair of angles which add up to 90 degrees. Make the C, and now you're going to say it with me. Complementary is a pair of angles which add up to 90 degrees. Okay, it looks like you guys don't know what I'm saying. It's right here, guys. Right there. A pair of angles add up to 90 degrees. Make a C. Say that loud. Complementary is a pair of angles that add up to 90 degrees. Notice, A and B here add up to 90. These are complementary. Those are complementary. Be very careful. Straight up right angles are not complementary. This angle B here, angle B is not complementary. It just is 90 degrees. It doesn't add up to 90 degrees. Okay? The last term, supplementary, a pair of angles that add up to 180. So this angle and this angle would be considered supplementary. And we are done with our terminology. These two angles together would be considered supplementary. They don't have to be on the same side. Any two angles that add up to 90. Okay, now we're going to do a little something. We're going to do a little round robin here. That means each person takes a turn. In your group, you have 5 terms. Remember, you can't get out of this classroom without knowing these terms, so this is really important what you're doing right now. Okay? I want each of your team members to take 1 term and just keep going around. Some of you are going to need to take 2. We're almost done, guys. Almost done. Wait, guys. Listen. We're almost done. It's been 8 minutes. I'm keeping it as short as I can. Okay? All right. I want you to not only, I want you to explain what it is. You're going to say vertical angles mean, and tell us what it means, but I want you to model physically with your arms, pens, pencils, fingers, hands, body parts, whatever. I want you to create like body part like I did with legs and whatever. We'll figure it out. Okay? I'd like you to physically model what they are. So you have to describe it and somehow physically model. Each person goes around until you finish all 5 terms. Go. I'm done. No, don't just say it. You have to physically model it somehow.
Vertical angles. Right angles.
What's a linear pair, guys? All right. Turn the page to page 5. Page 5. Okay, get your highlighters, please. Page 5. Get your highlighters. I'd like you to physically sweep the variables. So angle B, angle B, angle B, angle B. I'd like you to physically sweep with a highlighter, please. Okay, so now you're going to have 5 minutes as a team. First off, you need to identify what kind of angles are being shown, and then find me the measure of angle B. What kind of angles? Find the measure. What kind of angles? Find the measure. Kind of angles? Find the measure. You have 5 minutes. Go.
First one is complementary. Vertical is the second.
Yes.
Number 3.
Okay, you're just about done, guys. Just about done. That.
See, like, moves across the board.
Okay, students, I'm going to pester people. You give me your answers, okay? So, let's see. Number 1, Ben, what kind of angles are these? They are complementary. What would be the angle B then? 61 degrees. Fabulous. Isabel, number 2, what kind of angles? Vertical. And how many degrees does it measure? 43 degrees. Great. Luke, Proctor, number 3, what kind of angles?
Supplementary and linear pair.
Supplementary and a linear pair. And guess what? It's actually one more. Who wants to? What else? Nice. And adjacent. They're actually all 3. Luke Courtney, then tell me what's the measure of angle B, please, in number 3?
For number 3, 145.
145 is correct. 145. Yes, sir. You got the last one? Okay, what's this guy right here? These guys are not supplementary. They're what? They're only back to back, but they're not 90 and they don't make 180s. We call that adjacent. That's all it is. And it's not a linear pair because it doesn't make a line. Okay? And yes, it is 23 degrees. Okay? Nice job. Okay, I want you to take a look to the right, and I want you to find page 6. Circle page 6. Turn over, find page 7, and circle page 7. Your ambition is to finish 6 and 7 in class. Page 8 and 9, 9's only one problem you're going to do at home. If you have enough time, you can finish through 9. Pages 10 and 11 are extra practice. They are not worth credit, but they're for your own growth. So you're only going through page 9. That's your ambition. Okay, through. Okay, through. Now, what I'd like you to do is, I want you to number yourselves off, please, between 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go. Actually, I only have 1 team. I have 2 teams that go through 4. You guys are just like 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, something like that. Okay. Now, I'd like you to, you're going to need clipboards, so grab a clipboard, put your paper on a clipboard. Wonderful. Ready to go. That's a real nice clipboard. Okay, ready? If you are I want you to come with a highlighter and a pencil and a clipboard, and if you can stick some colors in your pocket, that might be What do you have? You got a PSP or something? Please?
Stop there, stop there, no. Tyler, you read.
All right, whoa, too many ones. Okay, let's have one of you come over here to Einstein. Okay, where's my, yeah, let's go Einstein. Let's see, I have 3 here. I have 5, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 12. I have too many on 2. I need one of you to go to Team Einstein. Team Einstein. Okay.
Can't you just number yourself off?
So we have 5, oh there, Einstein. All right, students, what's going to happen is you're going to start by finger tracking and reading a certain problem, and then I'm going to show you a video, and you're going to follow that video. It's going to help you get through a portion of the problem. Then you finish it, and then we're going to rotate. Ready? Okay, so you guys go to page 6, problem 1, finger track, read yourself. Then once the video is page 6, problem 1, finger track and read it yourself. Okay, ready? Page 6, problem 1, finger track and read it yourself. Let's try to say it. Page 6, problem 2, finger track and read. Say you are page 7, problem 3, finger track and read.
Figure check and read. Figure check and read.
Page 7,
Figure check and
problem
read
4.
aloud.
Figure track and read the entire song. It's not, it's one of
You
these.
will all read together. Okay, we're starting back over. So we know how to read it. I need to know when you all
Finger track
read.
and read the whole thing.
Let's go.
Okay, guys.
Figure check and read aloud.
Finger track and read the whole thing. Okay, then you start. You're gonna have to wait a minute. Yeah, it'll.
RCA is 14x plus 8. Find the measure of anything and everything. You're still reading? Oh my god. Make sure that we all did it together.
Students, first I'd like you to finger track and read aloud this problem. Finger track and read aloud this problem. Pause. Do that. Finger right there and start with your finger track and read that out loud right now.
Okay, first up, now we're gonna pretend that we know triangles have one right? Okay, so I'm gonna step away and I want you guys, and I want you to see that diagram that we have here?
Now we're going to walk down this list. Start highlighting and underlining. Given that LMS is a right angle, interior ray, and
Angle Y, sweep the elbow of Y.
Q is 1/2
And now
x
all I
plus
want
1.
you to do is sweep the elbow Y.
That is 2x.
Just Y.
Is 5.
Y. It's the little thing, yes, just Y. Put it
Walk
sweep
down
that,
this
just
list.
Y. That's
Highlighting. Now we're going to draw one thing at a time. It says LMN is a
then you have 60 way over here, that's an angle.
right angle means it's
No, X.
Start back.
That's 60.
And it's LMN.
Knowing that triangles out of 180,
Here's L, here's M, and
I want you guys to understand, and then the angles as you
N.
can.
And it's 90 degrees, so I'm going to sweep here.
Okay? Step away.
LMN, 90 degrees. We're crossing stuff out as we go. Interior ray of MQ. Interior does not mean it's in the middle necessarily. It just is between here somewhere. So it doesn't matter where you put it, but just don't put it down the middle so you don't get it confused with a what's called a bisector. Interior ray, and that's M.
Okay, guys, did you finger track and read the problem?
There.
Okay.
Now, L, M, Q, we're going to switch colors here. L and Q is 1/2 x plus 2. Drawing system. L, trace, M, Q, trace, and sweep. Physically draw that. That's going to be 1/2 x plus 20. Cross it out. Now, Q and N, so trace Q, M, N is 2x minus 5, so I sweep it, and it is 2x minus 5. We're to find everything that we can find. So we drew everything, we labeled everything, we listed, and we crossed everything out that we have used, and we're only left let's look at what we have here first. We know that this whole thing's 90, and that these two angles add up to. So I know that the measure of angle LMQ, that's blue, plus measure of angle QMN, that's equals the 90 degrees. That is the whole thing. So now what you're going to do is let's plug in what we have, circle, plug it in. 1/2 x plus 20 plus, circle, plug it in. 2x minus 5 equals 90 degrees. From here it's a basic algebra problem. You want to collect like terms. Collect like terms. And start solving for x. When you solve for x, find anything and everything that you can find. Just walk your classmates through the same steps right here on the left-hand side.
Okay, so if you didn't notice, I didn't actually do the problem. So I recommend you finish the problem. Get your hands off that calculator. Okay, so let's see. We have somewhere we probably have 2.5x equals 75, right? Okay. So here's a big hint. When you have mixed numbers, change it back to improper. So 2.5, backtrack and back into an improper fraction. 5 over. Okay, so now write this down. So you don't have to use the pen in the calculator. 5 over 2x equals 75. Write it down. 5 over 2x equals 75. Okay, now, how can we get rid of 5 over 2? Can you multiply 5? Do you understand? I'm flipping. Okay, so you multiply both sides by, that's your cube. Multiply both sides by 2 over 5. So it cancels on the left. On the right hand side, you have 75 times 2 over 5. Great, now you take 5 and go into 75 and take it from there. Without a calculator.
Alrighty, students, I'd like you to put your finger right here, and I'd like you to finger track and read out loud that problem. Go.
I want you to put all the angles on the diagram. Let me come back and see. You guys can actually truly squeeze this. I can find an angle of 60 you haven't squeezed this. Right? Right. Yes, sir. Okay, I want you to put all of those angles right in the diagram.
Now, let's go through the highlight, underline, process. It says draw a of angles, PC and twice the size of C. Then draw an angle DE, which is both adjacent and complementary to find the measure of anything and everything fine. Now this is a little overwhelming at first, but let's break it down one little step at a time. Just draw a linear pair of angles. Linear pair is corresponding to the line ABC and CB. Very important that you spot the overlap of that's your
All right, guys, play the video.
that's what shares. These two angles have to know what shares because the letters overlap. We're told that
All right, so
is twice as big. So our ABC is supposed to be bigger than this. So let's start by drawing a linear pair. One takes the other one. We know that BC is our spine. So we're going to start here at the left. Angle ABC. This right here. A.
wherever you find it, start circling all directions. Yes, go on to 2.
Is a linear pair with angles CD. Notice they share a spine to make a line. Okay? And we're told that ABC is twice as big as CD. So whatever this is twice as big. So cross out that.
So,
Pair,
linear pairs,
done with all of that.
vertical angles, which are directly across.
Then we have an angle.
Complementary adds up to
DBE. Well, wait a minute, there's another letter. DBE is both adjacent and complementary. So let's find first CBD.
So I give you like one
This angle
example.
right here. So we have another angle that's adjacent.
All right, Richard, you guys ready for me to check you?
Complementary meaning some nicety. Adjacent back to back. So we have two back to back angles. Green. Here. And DE. Notice the repetition of D and E. That is your spine. So we know that
You're missing something. What does Kyle have that you guys don't? Take a
is
look.
both adjacent, which means it shares a spine, and complementary, which together they add up to.
Okay, students, get ready. You're going to rotate. When I ask you to rotate, you're going counterclockwise, which means you're going this way around the room. And then you're going to finger track and read the next problem. And your goal is counterclockwise. Your goal is to finish all 4 problems. So, 1 comes to station 2, 2 goes to 3.
Just make note, physically speaking, you have half the circle. Knowing that what we have half the circle, have a 2x
Okay, you guys, this way.
which makes
This way, this way,
half
this way. You guys move 1, yes. You guys go to 1.
that.
All right, you're back to page 1. I want you to first finger, page 6, problem 1. I want you to finger track, read, and I actually want you to try to draw the diagram. Okay.
See that?
Hey guys, I want you to finger track, read, and actually want you to learn how to
This
draw
is
the diagram before you play the game. Draw the diagram before you play the game. Okay? I want you to finger track and read problem 1 of
Linear pair of angles.
Okay.
Very important. Hey, guys,
All together.
finger track and read the problem, and you're going to go all the way. I want you to do every single portion of it, okay? Go.
Alright, everybody, all together now. Finger track and read aloud. If you know the 3 angles of the triangle sine to 180 degrees, first find the measure of all possible angles in the diagram. Hold still, Could you imagine that? Sorry.
like you to put your pencil right here where it says in the diagram, and I'd like you to finger track and read aloud the entire problem. Go. Okay, now we're going to take this one step at a time. We're going to highlight, underline, and chunk. It says in the diagram below, FCR is complementary to RCA. The measure of angle FCR is 8x minus 6.
Students, if you hear your name, can you please come visit me in the front real quick, just for a brief moment?
Find the measure of anything and everything that you
Ryan, can I see you real quick? Ryan. Fields, can I see you please real quick? Mr. Jolly, can I see you real quick, please? Ben, can I see you please? And Annalise, can I see you please? I'm missing your 2.2 homework.
Yeah, I was at my house. I did it. It's okay if I turn in.
No, well, how much did you get done in class?
I finished all of them.
I'll give you an 8 out of 10. Next time you need to bring it with you. Have some sort of system, okay? Forgot to turn it in?
Yeah.
Okay, there you are, Mr. Jolly. Annalise, your homework there.
I have no idea where that went.
See if you can't find it, okay? Ben, your homework? I got a no name back there. Maybe it's yours? Check it. If you're convinced you turned it in. Do you want to go check? Okay. Mr. Fields, your homework. Are you one of my no names? You did most of it in class, remember? Do you have that?
I believe so.
Okay.
R, trace it, CA, sweep again, is 14x plus 8. Find anything and everything that you can find. Okay, so we drew it, labeled it, listed, crossed it as we went. So let's look very carefully. You're going to notice that this right here is not a bisector. It does not meet the angle in half. But I'd like you to physically trace that. That adds up to 90. So we know that the measure of the blue plus the measure of the green equals 90. The measure of the blue angle plus the measure of the green angle equals the measure of the thing, which in this case is 90. Use that information to solve for x. Now, a couple other things I'd like you to do is I'd like you to physically, please, trace the segment RZ. Physically trace RZ. R all the way to Z. Physically trace it. Now I'd like you to physically trace the segment F to P. F all the way to P. Physically trace again R to Z. F to P. Those are straight lines. Straight lines create vertical angles. So I'd like you to mark FCR, sweep it. And now also mark CCP, sweep it. Those are what's called vertical angles. Mark them through. That's going to come into play as you solve for anything and everything that you can find. Using that information, solve for every angle possible.
Just doing what you're telling me. So it has to be a 90 degree?
You check, now you have to check, Mr. Courtney. Do you think you guys are looking at it? How? What can you do? What can you do? Yeah. Right. So what would your equation be? Okay, are you told RC is well, you said you have the expression.
Yeah, I mean,
I couldn't believe you were so. I thought you were.
you're still on the same call.
I've had crickets in twin sizes. Crickets escape from the place. Big crickets. I got something. Hey, please. How you doing, guys? Okay, so are you able to find vertical angles?
Hey, Robin.
Hey, big boy.
The easiest way to find vertical angles is trace from the Bingo. That's a vertical angle. Nice job. Yeah. X, that's a straight line. Well, those are the straight lines. We need the angle, which means a hinge. All right, you guys finished with this one? Okay, students, you should be wrapping up the problem you are on and rotate again. You guys move this way. You guys go to 3. You guys go to 4.
Excuse me, guys.
I forgot my colors. I need my colors. Yeah, they're going to be 4. You're going to need colors. All right, guys, you're on 1. Finger track and read 1, please. Finger track and read run. Yes, sir. Cell phone here? Guys, next time, don't move. Maybe somebody can get the chair for me.
Students, what I'd like you to do is first off put your pencil right where you see the word if.
Are you
Finger track and read the problem out loud. Oh, before you do that, you need to make sure that for color codes, I'd like you to have a blue pen, if at all possible.
okay?
You also need red pen. Also, you need to have some sort of a highlighter.
Has your PG actually?
Highlighter. And I'd also like you to have a black pen I'd like you to share. If you just want 4 different colors, that's fine, but that's the colors I'm going to use. So once again, now put your finger there and finger track and read that out loud.
You might want to request define the statement. Okay, just treat that nicely. I guess if you're not in pain, you're okay. But respectful.
So it says this,
Respect the way
that if you knew that the 3 angles of a triangle sum 180 degrees and you measure all possible angles in the diagram, then you go from one of each. No, so let's first off go through all the measures of the diagrams and let's see what we can find. Very carefully, at the 30 degrees here, 90 degree line. So looking at this triangle here adds up to 180. I add 30 plus 90, that's 120. Take it away from 180, that's 60. This guy over here is also 60. Now let's see what else we have here. We have another triangle. So let's see. If this is 60 and this is 60, triangles have to add up to 180. You take away 180, take away 120, and we find out that this angle right here has to be 60. Then I'd like you to physically trace this angle right there, sweeping. Rainbow style thing, that's 180 degrees. That's called a blue pair. So if I want to find this angle here, I simply do 60 minus from 180. I get this angle. This is a squeeze the sponge process. So we're trying to find all the possible angles that we can. Right here, there's another linear pair sweeper. It's also 180. So you sweep it. You see here, this is 60. That completes to 180. That means this is 180 minus 60. And that angle right there is 100. Go back and you can finish almost every single angle that's part of the process. There's several angles left using the concept of linear pairs. Vertical angles, you should be able to find every single angle. Keep the diagram looking. Highlight the angles that are still left. To the left, all of these yellow angles are actually angles that you could theoretically find. Okay, now let's go through this list here. We want to use a blue pen and identify two sets of linear pairs. I'm only going to do one. A linear pair is an angle that shares a spine and makes a line. So one set of linear pairs would be right here. W, U, Y, and W, U, V. That shares a spine, makes a line. So W, U, Y, and W, U, V. That's one. Now let's take a look here using red. Complementary angles. Complementary means it adds up to 90 degrees. And that would be Y, W, T.
If it's congruent, yes.
And then T, W, U. Trace and sweep vertical angles. I actually already swept one vertical angle for you. And then you have this last angle, trace and sweep, in black pen, one set of supplementary angles, which are not a linear pair. You're going to have to find those last two on your own.
Students, I'm going to be coming around and asking your brain Java scores. Alex, brain Java. Proctor, brain Java. Brain Java.
Oh, great.
Aaron, brain Java.
I got 3.
Ben, brain Java. Who else? Okay, guys. Have you solved that? Trying to solve that? Well, let's see here.
Looks like you got your
All right, students, rotate for the last time. Go. Rotate for the last time. Go.
Well, I figured it out. Like, I didn't get it.
Got your